In this video, I'll be showing you how to create cable stitches, and I will also explain how you can adapt this example to create lots of variations of fabric. If you're a brand new beginner, we have lots of tutorials on our channel for how to cast on, knit and purl stitch. We won't be covering these techniques in this tutorial, so best to check those out first. Let's get into it. There's lots of different cable options you can create. But first I'm going to show you the method for how to create an actual cable stitch. Then we'll go on to discuss ways you can adapt this. In this example, I'll be creating a 4 cable back using super chunky yarn, 10mm needles and a cable needle. For this example, I've cast on 20 stitches. This is made up of multiples of 6 plus 2. However, different cable stitches will use different multiples, so make sure you check your pattern for more information. As you can see, I've already knit a few rows here. Once you've cast on your stitches, you'll need to work a ribbed stitch. The number of knit and purl stitches will vary depending on the type of cable that you are working. For this example, we have used a salvage stitch on each end of this piece of fabric. For your pattern, you may or may not need to do that, so make sure you pay attention to the details. We'll be using a 6-stitch repeat for the right side of the fabric, which is the side that you'll see when worn. And that 6-stitch repeat is purl 1, knit 4, purl 1, repeat. Then we'll add an additional purl stitch at either end of our fabric for our salvage edge. So let's go ahead and work that row. We start by purling our salvage edge, then 1 purl, yarn to the back, 4 knit stitches. Followed by 1 more purl. Then we repeat that 6th stitch again. So 1 purl, followed by 4 knit stitches. And 1 purl. Repeat that 1 more time and I'll see you at the end of the row. And we just add 1 more purl stitch for our salvage edge, then rotate the work. So we'll now work the wrong side row, which will be the opposite of what we did for the right side row. So we'll have 1 knit stitch for our salvage edge, then the first knit stitch of our 6-stitch repeat, followed by 4 purl stitches. One knit stitch, then start the 6-stitch repeat once again. And one last time. And 1 more knit stitch for our salvage edge. So this is what your work will be looking like at the moment. You can see we have our purl stitches, our knit stitches, purl, knit, purl, knit. Now we're going to work our first cable row. Typically these are worked on the right side of the fabric. Your pattern will tell you when to work your cable row. So start by working our 1 purl salvage edge. Now we'll go into our 6-stitch repeat. So 1 purl, yarn to the back, then we're going to use our cable needle. Now these look different depending on what type you use, but we are using one like this. So you pick up the 2 stitches. We're doing a cable 4 back, so there are 4 stitches total in our cable, 2 and 2. So because it's a 4 cable back, we're picking up 2 and putting our cable needle to the back of our work. So we're just going to tuck that behind, hold on to it if you need to, so it's out the way. We're then going to knit the next 2 stitches. Then we're going to pop the 2 stitches at the back of our work back onto our needle. And you can put your cable needle down. Now this stage will feel a little bit tight because what we're doing here is we're switching 2 stitches over, or in this case over. So go ahead and knit the next 2 stitches, and then purl 1 stitch. And that is our first 6 stitch repeat, and you can see already how the direction of the stitches have changed and the ones on this side have tucked in behind. Now let's repeat that. So 1 purl stitch, then take up your cable needle and pop 2 stitches onto that and slip it to the back. Knit the next 2. Ooh, make sure your working yarn is at the back of your knit stitches. Work the next 2 knit stitches, then put your 2 stitches on the cable needle back onto your knitting needle. This will again feel very tight to start with. Knit the next 2 stitches, yarn to the front and purl. And we'll repeat one more time. Purl 1 stitch, yarn to the back, pop your 2 stitches onto the cable needle. Now if we were working a cable 6 back, you would have worked a different stitch repeat for knit and purl stitches on your ribbing rows, and you potentially would be picking up 3 stitches to go to the back. Obviously we're not doing that, we're doing a cable 4 back. So take those 2 first stitches to the back, knit the next 2, then you can pop those 2 back onto your left needle. This can be a little bit fiddly, as we're seeing here, and pop your cable needle down. Go ahead and knit 2 more stitches, and then purl 1 and purl the salvage stitch. Salvage stitches are obviously optional. For your wrong side row after your cable row, you will work it the same way you did your ribbed rows on the wrong side. So we will be starting with a knit stitch because we have our salvage edge. Then we'll work our 6 stitch repeat, which is 1 knit, 4 purl, 1 knit. So do that 3 times in this case. And then your knit stitch and continue. Okay, so then if we look at the front of our work, we can really start to see those cables forming now. So what we will do next is we'll go ahead and work 4 more ribbed rows. Now this isn't specific to any type of cabling, this is just what we're doing in this example. You can obviously change the amount of rows you do between your cable rows, and the pattern you are following may call for a specific amount of ribbed rows between the cable rows. The closer your cable rows are together, the more your cable will twist. The further your cables are apart, the more ribbed distance you'll have in between them. So I'm going to go ahead and work 4 more rows of ribbing, and I'll see you at the other side. Now we've worked our last rows of ribbing, we're going to go ahead and work another cable row. So let's do that now. We'll start with our 2 purl stitches, the first being the salvage edge and the second being the first in our 6 stitch repeat. Yarn to the back, then we're going to pop the first 2 stitches onto our cable needle and slide that to the back. Work 2 knit stitches, and then we can pop our 2 stitches from our cable needle back onto our knitting needle. Go ahead and knit those next 2 stitches, then purl 1, and we're going to repeat that 6 stitch repeat 2 more times. Okay, so this is what our fabric is looking like so far. You can really start to see those twists coming to life. I'm going to work 3 more ribbed rows and then we'll cast off. So this is what the fabric will look like after you've cast off. You can see that our cables have gone to the back and are left leaning. So that is a cable for back. This is an example of cable 6 front. So we have actually cabled across 6 stitches here, and we have slipped the first 3 of those stitches and held them forwards. So you can see the direction of the cable is different. Here we have the top cable running right, and here we have the top cable running left. The other difference between these 2 swatches is that these cables are closer together. So we worked 3 ribbed rows between our cable rows on this swatch, and here our cables are further apart. We worked 5 ribbed rows between our cable rows on this swatch. You can work your cables across any number of stitches. You can make them as wide or as thin as you like, even go down to a cable 2, and that creates a really small, skinny cable. Finally, we have shown you here how to knit cables flat. You can also knit cables in the round, which is actually easier and a bit more simple. You only work the repeat detailed for the right side of the fabric. There's no need to work the reverse rows on the wrong side. I hope this video has been helpful and you've enjoyed learning about how to cable stitch. I'll see you in the next one.